Hey guys, welcome back to TTMR. We're back with me and Sean, and today we will be reviewing the second episode of the brand new spin-off series in the Walking Dead universe called Tales of the Walking Dead, with this episode being titled Blair and Gina.
In this second episode of Tales of the Walking Dead, we follow our main characters Gina and Blair. This episode follows the two ending up in the same location, a gas station, and basically they die over and over again, which causes time to reset and puts them back where they were at the start of the episode. Through this, Gina and Blair, who clearly didn't like each other at the beginning of the episode, bond and eventually begin to appreciate one another as they learn more about each other. Through this bond, they eventually decide to work together, and Blair helps Gina steal the oil truck that she was trying to take in order to see her family, since she knew that nobody would shoot the truck due to the fact that it would explode. From this, the two eventually exit the loop after reaching 5 o'clock.
I honestly have no idea what to say about this episode since I and probably many others have no clue as to what it is exactly that's going on. Although I did feel that the acting was very good and the characters seemed real and believable, this is just such a strange episode overall. I don't even know how I would talk about what was going on. I did find this episode very interesting for that matter. It kept me hooked waiting to see what would eventually happen at the end. However, to my surprise, the ending was very bland and almost felt as if it had no meaning at all. I feel like there's a deeper meaning to all that happens in this episode, but I just can't figure out what it is.
This episode was honestly just really confusing me as a whole, and it has to do mainly with the main premise of time basically resetting over and over again. Most of what I was thinking when I was watching this episode was mostly just questions on either how or why these things were happening. Like, why did they know for sure that the time loop would end specifically at 5? Also, there isn't really a reason as to why Gina and Blair are going through this cycle, or why it's only the two of them. I mean, I like the acting in this episode and development of the characters from the main gimmick, but overall the conclusion of this episode left me with more questions than answers.
There's honestly not much that's good about this episode, so this will be short. Like I said earlier, the acting was really good, at least I felt it was, and I felt as though the characters were written well and pretty believable. As for what is bad, the story overall, in my opinion, it just feels like it's all over the place and has no meaning.
As is probably already obvious, Max and I were quite confused by this episode, and although the gimmick was a fun one, the time resetting mostly just caused a lot of things not to make as much sense as they should have. This is why Max and I decided to rate this episode of Tales of the Walking Dead with a 5.5 out of 10, which may seem low, and it is, but it's not really that this episode is terrible, it just has a lot of things in it that don't make that much sense. And this factor by itself heavily brought down the rating of this episode since it was mainly due to the main gimmick of this episode.
Overall, this episode is not too great. It's definitely one that I'd skip, but if you have nothing else to watch and need some time to kill, this could do the trick. The characters are nice, the music in areas is good, and the walkers shown in the episode also look great as usual. However, those small things I mentioned are definitely not enough to make up for all that this episode lacked.
So with that being said, that has been our review of Tales of the Walking Dead Episode 2. Remember that this is just our opinion, so you don't necessarily have to believe everything that's said here. Come back soon for more reviews or browse existing ones on the channel.
Make sure to check out our Twitter for sneak peeks and updates on our future projects. We hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and if you enjoyed, you could like or subscribe to help us out. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day.